What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. So in this video, what I am going to do is I am going to design a mobile application using Adobe XD. And then in the next video, I'm going to build it out completely using Flutter. So if you don't have Adobe XD, go ahead and download that. You can do a quick Chrome search and find it. It's completely free. So I just have a blank worksheet open here, just an iPhone X. So for this design, what I'm thinking is it's going to have a bottom nav bar with 2 tabs. It's going to have a current day and a past words, where it will give you the last week of words. And then you can also view your favorite words. So we're going to have a button in the app bar that will bring us to that page. So let's first start out by building out the app bar, and then we'll move on to the bottom nav bar, and then we'll do the body. So let's first do the title. Let me add some text. Call this word of the day. Let's go ahead and make that black. And we'll make it, we'll say 22, a little bigger than that. Now let's center that. There we go. So next I want a hamburger menu up here that will pop out a drawer, and I want a icon up here that will bring you to the favorites page. So for that, what I can do is we're going to use some font awesome icons. So go to this URL here, fontawesome.com/download, and you can simply just download the icons for the web. And once you do that, you're basically downloading all of these icons here, which you can find at this cheat sheet. So here they are here. This is what I download, and these are all the icons. So we can basically copy and paste the icons and use them in Adobe XD. So the first one I want is this bars icon right here. So that's in the solid section. So I'm going to go to solid, and I'm going to search for bars. Okay, and here we go. So let me copy that. And back in Adobe XD, I'm going to paste it. And there we go. So this is a little big. So let's make this smaller. We'll say 25 and 25, just like that. Now we'll come up here and put it in the app bar. Let's make it 23, actually, just a little smaller than that. And we can center it just like that. Perfect. So that's good there. Next, we want an icon up here, which will be for the favorites page, which will bring you to the words that you favorite or save. So for that, we're going to go back to here, and we basically want a heart. I believe it's called it might be called heart. Let's see. Okay, here we go. We'll use this heart here. So let's go back to our Finder, and again we need to search for that heart. So we'll go to the H's, and here we go, heart. So we'll copy that, and let's paste it up here. Now we'll make this 25, and we'll say this is 23. Okay, there we go. Let's make sure that's centered right there and bring it over a little bit. Perfect. I'm going to bring all of this down a little bit, so I'm going to hold Shift as I click, and now I can bring them all down just a little bit. Alright, so that is the app bar. Next, I want the bottom navigation bar. Let's go up here and first create a little background space for it, just like that. We'll remove the border, and let's give it a fill of completely black. So the theme or the color palette for this app will just be like a simple black and white. So look pretty slick, pretty minimalistic. I think it'll look good like that. Okay, here we go. And what I want to do is I want to curve these down a little bit, but as you can see, I don't want to do it for all of them. So if I go over here, I can click this button here, which will allow me to round whatever corners I want. So we can do the left, we'll say 10, that's top left. There we go. We'll do the same for the top right. Okay, now it's a bit rounded, so I think that looks good. So we only need 2 pages for this app. We have the current word of the day, so the current day, or the previous week's words. So for that, let's first put the text. So I'm going to say, for word of the day, we'll say WOTD. And then for previous, we'll just say past words. And these are going to be white. So let me fill that with white and then move it down here. Put it here for now. Same with this word. Okay, there we go. So these are lined up. Let's make them a bit smaller though. It's kind of big for navbar text. Let's try 18. Maybe 16. Okay, 16 looks good. I'll make them both 16. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to select them both using Shift again. And if I hold Shift, I can move them even more, further distance. Or if I don't hold Shift, moves them a little bit. So let's center them a little bit like that. And then bring them down a little bit. And then I want to put an icon above it as well. So let's go back here, and I think it's a calendar icon. Yep, so this calendar right here. Let's go ahead and search for that, and here we go, right here. So let's copy that, and we'll just paste it here, and let's make that 25, just like we've been doing. Okay. So let's make this white. Where'd it go? And let's increase this just slightly. Make sure that's centered. All right, there we go. So that's looking good. And then for the past words, I'm gonna search for another icon. Okay, so for that, we're gonna use this history icon, kind of signaling the past week's words. So let's go back here and search for history. That would be up here, and here we go. We'll copy that, and we'll paste it in here. Let's make it 25. And before we bring that down, let's make the fill white. Now we can drag that, and we'll center it on top of those past words, and then put it in line with that other icon. Perfect. So that's looking good. And let's go one step further. What I'm going to do is, for the day that it's currently on, we want to bold this. So let's bold this word. Go over here, and instead of regular, we'll hit bold. And we'll keep this fill white. For the one that's not activated, we don't want to fill it. We want to add a border. So by doing that, it makes it a little lighter. So now you can more clearly see that we are currently on this page. And then what I can do, that is it for the bottom navigation bar and the app bar. So let me go and add a new board. So I can actually go here, and we'll copy that, Command C, and then Command V. So that makes a duplicate board. Let's go up here and rename you home, and we can rename this past words. Now let's make some quick changes. We'll change this to past words. Make sure we center that. There we go. And then we can go down here and give you the fill, or give you the border, remove the fill, make you regular. And then over here on this icon, remove the border, give it a fill, and make the text bold. All right, so that looks good now. So let's go back to this home page. So this page will only display the current word. So it will fetch from an API the word for the current date and display it here. So because of that, we want a bigger view. You know, it's only one word. We want to show that. So we're going to do this in two sections. we're going to have a small top section up here that will just display the current day. It will say the date, and then maybe we'll do text saying today. And then we'll have a big body, which will be a card, a Flutter card eventually, and it will display the word. So let's go ahead and do the top section first. So I'm going to start off by doing some text. Let's change it back to black. And we're going to say today. Okay, it's still white. Let's change that. There we go. So today, make it regular. And then we also want the actual date. So I'm going to say Monday, 15th October. So I'm just making up a date here. And let's move this to the side. We'll make that even with this top icon here, just like that. And then we want this to be a little bigger. So let's give you 22 maybe. No, we'll say 24. Okay, that's good. So we'll put you over as well. There we go. And then let's make this a little smaller. Maybe give it a 14 and also make it a little lighter. So we'll come here and drag it a little more to the gray side. Just like that. Maybe a little more. Okay, and that's looking good. So that's the top section that we have. Now we need the card that will actually display the word for the current day. So for that, let's go over here and make this rectangle. There we go. We can line it up with the icons just like that. And we're going to go over here and we're going to keep the fill white. So we want to remove the border. But now you can't see the card. So what we can do, we can give it some shadow. We'll click that, and there we go. Now the card kind of pops out, which looks pretty nice. So we'll keep the defaults. And now let's start building out this card. So the first piece of data that we have is the actual word. So I'm going to make up a word here. We'll say Spudger, just like that. Now this word will not line up with this because that is what the end of the card does. So we'll line up everything in here with this word. So that's the word. Let's see what 28 looks like. All right, I like that a little more. So we'll keep it at 28. Next, we have what part of speech it is. So noun, adjective, verb, that kind of stuff. So for that, we'll put that right underneath. This will be a noun. And we want to make this text smaller, so maybe 20. Nope, a little smaller than that. Let's try 16. There we go. We're going to make the fill a bit lighter. And then we're going to make it italic. Okay, there we go. Make sure it's lined up. There we go, just like that. Line up the left. And we'll make it slightly closer. There we go. So that's looking good. Now the next and the final part is the definition. So for this, we'll say definition. And let me write the definition for this word. Okay, there we go. So before I wrap that text, let's change up some of the styling. Let's make it regular, change the fill to black, and we'll make it a little bigger. We'll say 20. Okay? Now we want this part here to be bolded. So let's highlight that and come here and let's bold just that portion. Okay? Now what we're going to do is we need to wrap this just like that. Alright, so that's looking good. Now the last part is we need to add a couple of icons. So I'm going to add 3 icons. We're going to add a heart so the user can save it or favorite the word. We're going to add a share button so the user can share the word. And we're going to add a microphone button so the user can click it and it will say the word. So it'll speak it to them. So we'll find all of those icons back in our Font Awesome Icon section. So let's first search for share. So here's the share icon. Let's go grab that. Okay, here we go. Copy and paste 25 and 25. Next, we want the favorite icon, so we actually have that already. So let me just copy that and move it here. And then we want the microphone icon. So I believe that is microphone. Yep, microphone right here. So let's grab that. And here it is. So we'll copy that. Whoops, 24. And make sure the height on this one is a little bigger than the width so it doesn't look funny. Alright, there we go. So here are the 3 icons. Now we'll put the microphone up top here and we'll line that up with the word, just like that. And then the share and the heart will both go down here. So let's take the heart. Let's line that up with the right side of the microphone icon. There we go. Just like that. And we'll put the share button right next to it. Just like that. And let's remove the fill and just put the border. Just like that. Same for the share. And let's change the height, let's say 30. There we go. Alright, so that does it for the current day. As you can see, we have the word, which will be fetched from the API. We have the date displayed, and then you can save the word. So if the user hits this, it will change this to red, and then eventually they'll be able to see all their words that they saved in a list view. Alright, so let's move on to the past words screen. So this is going to be similar. It's going to be made up of the past 7 word cards, and it will have a similar layout. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy both of these. So click Shift so I can select both of them, and then copy and paste that, and then we'll move this over. Okay, just like that. Make sure that lines up with this icon here. So this will now, it won't be today, it will be yesterday, and the date will be Sunday, the 14th of October. Perfect. Now what we're going to do is we are going to copy this card and also paste it over here. So I can select all of them, again, by holding down Shift, Command Copy, Command Paste. And we can move over the entire card. Okay, just like that. And seems like we lost some of them. So let me go ahead and right click on this and we'll say send to back. There we go, and that brings everything up front. So this card is too big now. We can have it big on the word of the day page because there's only one word, but for the previous days we want to make it a little smaller. So we only want it as big as it needs to be. So we'll keep this here. Let me remove the microphone. And instead of that, we'll copy the share and favorite buttons. So let's drag those up and we'll put those in place of the microphone. Alright, let's line that up with the word just like that. So that is good. Let's remove this definition and just have that. Perfect. So that's fine. Of course, you could format this a little better, maybe move this word up here, but that's fine for now. So what I'm going to do is we now need this card a couple more times. So I'm going to copy all of these, paste it once, move this down here, paste it again. I think it was 16. There we go. And we don't want the date on this first card because we have it up here. But for every other card, we do want the date. So I'm going to select both of these and move it down just like that. Do the same thing for this. And we can just add the date up top there. Line it up on the left. And this will be Saturday, the 13th of October. We'll format this up. We'll say 16. That's a little too big. We'll say 14. Make it italic. And we'll give it a little lighter color. Make sure it's lined up there. Perfect. And then let's copy and paste that and bring it down. And this will be Friday the 12th, if we're going back a day. Okay, and then let me just copy the card and that date, paste it, and add that down here, just so it looks like it continues. So let's do this. We'll send that to back, and now that looks a little better. It kind of looks like it continues, just like that. And then let's go ahead and let's like this word, just so we can see what it would look like if the user favorites it. So for that, we'd remove the border and add the fill. Let's give it a nice red, maybe something like that. So just like I said, if the user clicks on it, it would turn to red, favorite it, and then they can view it in their favorite words page. So let's go ahead and create that now. Let's go down here and we can do a new device. We'll choose iPhone XXS and Pro. And let's rename this to favorites. Okay, so now this is going to be a bit different than the first two pages because this is not a separate page. It will be a route that we go to. So for this, it's still going to have a title. So let's go ahead and copy this so I get the formatting. We'll call this favorites. Make sure that's centered. There we go. But instead of this icon here, it's going to have a back arrow. Because what will happen is the user will hit this, they'll be brought to this page. There'll be no bottom navigation, just a back arrow to bring them back to the previous page. So let's go ahead and grab that. I believe it's arrow left. Let's see. Yes, arrow left. So let's go find that here. There we go, arrow left. Let's come here and copy that and paste that. Make that smaller and move that to where it needs to be. Line it up. All right, there we go. So now you can go back. So this route is going to be very, very simple. It will just be the words. So paste you twice. And obviously these will be different words when we actually build it, but for now they are the same. So we'll make them a bit smaller, maybe 22. Just like that. So, like I said, the user will click the favorites button and be brought to this page where they will see a list of the words that they favorited. Then they can click this and go back. So this right here is the basic layout of our app. And it's what we're going to be building in the next video. So we could finish here, but I want to go one step further and play around with the prototype mode. So here it allows us to simulate clicking buttons and seeing how the user would interact with our app. So it gives a little UX feel to this design. So if they click this, they're sent to this page. And if they're on this page and they click here, they're sent back home. So we can just drag to where we want to send it. If they click this, they're brought to the favorites page, just like that. So that's all we really need to do for now. And if we want to see, actually, last thing, if they click this, it would bring them back to whatever page they were on. So for now, we'll just bring them back to this page. But if they clicked it from the home page, it would bring them back to that page. Anyways, let's go ahead and run that and see what you get. So if you click this button up here, the desktop preview, here we go, we see our little app. So we're on the home page. Now if we click here, there we go, we're brought to the past words page. Nope, I removed that by accident, but that's okay. Now if we go up here, we go to the favorites, we can see all the words we favorited. This will be a list view, and we can go back. So that's the basics of our app. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video and you learned how you can use Adobe XD to develop your app. And in the next video, we are going to take this design and we are going to implement it and build it out completely using Flutter. So that will be a fairly long video, probably an hour or two long, but we will be exploring a bunch of various Flutter components. So if you want to do that, definitely subscribe to my channel so you don't miss it. And one thing to note is we will be using the WordNick API to get data for that app. So the API key is completely free, but you do need to make a request for that key. So I will leave a link in the description to their website so you can go and register for a key. I recommend doing that soon because it does take 5 to 7 days to get your key back. Anyways, thanks for watching and I'll see you guys in the next video.